A63.
A63, not the A62. That's near our home. And we're still going through a pine forest, despite driving for, I don't know, 40 minutes?
Yeah, it's been about 50 miles.
Yeah. So, who knew France was so big? Because it's been a long way and a lot of pine, which is nice.
Pine forest.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see all these trees. We were discussing, like, why don't England just put trees in where we've got a bit of empty land, but we don't have all this empty land, I guess. And there's always somebody trying to make a buck in there. I suppose there is here, I don't know.
I think it's more about will than want. It's good for your climate change.
Absolutely. But it must be very good for the atmosphere to have all this forest. I don't know if pine does the same as proper leaves. Don't know.
Still captures carbon.
Yeah. So and we've seen them on the side of the road, like picking up like all the roots and stuff like that, and then just chipping them. So yeah.
Anyway.
So we're heading off to the Pyrenees today. So I've got my cardigan handy, but we're in t-shirts at the moment. So we shall see. Just had a little stop to get some more fuel and to pick up some orange juice and a bit of bread and various little essentials. And we're on the route de Pyrenees. And as you can see, the trees have just started to change colour. What we have found is that they do like the roundabouts. So we're just going to go round one now, so I'm going to turn it off before we do. You can see that we're starting to head into the hills here. We're actually getting hills to go up.
And more gears to find.
More gears to find. It's certainly looking a lot more autumnal, I think, mind you, probably because we come out of the pine forest, where obviously everything stays green all year round. But the trees are lovely, starting to really change, aren't they?
Yes.
We're in Navarro. This is the main road, and it's just passing round all the massive walls of the fort.
Obviously built to defend France against the Spanish. And I always thought they were friendly Catholic brothers together.
There you go, and there's a great big river down there. But a really sweet little town. There's a very nice statue in the middle of the roundabout.
They do like to put things in the middle of the roundabout.
Yeah, a man with his salmon. Look at this rain! Raining like mad. Just think this time yesterday we were blooming sunbathing. Crazy stuff. And Alan hasn't got his shorts on today. Right, we're coming into our parking place for the night.
Oloron Saint Marie.
We're looking for Aire camping car.
Which should be at that little foot crossing near the park, I think, on the left-hand side.
Well, it does say it's after the Total petrol station. So, there's the
After
Total
200
petrol.
yards,
There.
you have reached your destination.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't after it was before it.
Depends which way you're coming from.
Exactly. and it looks very busy, but room enough for us.
Yeah, there will be.
Yeah. You've got all your services there. Bins full to overflowing, which is a shame, but there's 3 other bins. And you're right beside the river. I think that'll be us parking up. In Oloron St Marie, and this is the courtier. It was abandoned in the 1970s, and I imagine that they've had to do an awful lot of work to bring it back up to scratch, but there were some beautiful paintings in the chapel, really pretty. Over here you can see the hydroelectric dam that the energy company EDF use to produce quite a lot of energy, and just behind, glimpsing out through the clouds there, you can actually see some of the Pyrenees mountains. We've climbed quite a long way out of the town. Actually, it wasn't that long, but it was quite a steep load of stairs. And there's the building that I was showing you before, that they've had the work done after it was abandoned in the 1970s. But more breathtaking is the mountains behind. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know if anybody remembers that programme from probably the 1970s, Belle and Sebastian. I always wanted to have one of those bloody great dogs and come out, live right simply. And here I am in living in a van at the moment with my little dog, who's walked all that way up there with no complaint. But yeah, if we couldn't actually see these mountains when we first arrived because of the cloud, but this is the sun's come out and this is all cleared in the last half an hour. These houses. This one's for sale. Oh, went a bit funky there. Just better get out of the road, there's a car coming. But all for sale. They look as though they've been here since the mists of time.
And they don't touch each other.
But the great thing is, you're right next to the church. I haven't heard the bells go off. So maybe you just wouldn't be disturbed by the bells.
Well, Buffy has found some friends again. She knew they were there before we did. There's a lot of brown sheep.
Really, aren't they? They're like small dogs.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Sorry about the wire fence, I'll try and get over them. But yeah, there's quite a bunch of them just on this hillside, just underneath the church. And that one's very interested.
Just outside the 11th century cathedral, and there are some old gravestones and sarcophagi here. The earliest one dates from around about the 7th century, right up to the 19th, did you say?
The cross is in the background in 19th century. The sarcophagi date from the 6th and 7th. The little rectangular cubes is medieval, that's 13th and 14th century. And the little laid down gravestones date from the 18th and 19th. We're at the Church of St Marie, and we're at the main portal. And we're looking at the detail going around the doorway, which is meant to show part of the path of the apocalypse. And in the centre you've got Jesus on the cross and the resurrection. But it's beautiful, very fine.
The tree is absolutely beautiful. This one's just turning. The others all gone to red. I imagine in a few weeks' time there'll be nothing left of the leaves, not the trees. And there's the cathedral. It's just a very typical old French village. I really like all the mix of all the architecture down here. All the houses are all very different, all shuttered. You imagine, like on a cold winter's day, that you just want to, that you just, sorry, just hit something with the dog, who, as I was saying, on a cold winter's day, when you're just trying to keep all the snow out.
Little people.
Look at that. Pretty.